Today I'm going to be changing the primer bulb on a Toro weed eater. I've bought this little 3-pack at Home Depot for about $8, and this is the one that I'm going to need right here, the inline primer bulb, they call it. It looks pretty straightforward to change. You just have these clips that hold it into the housing on the weed eater, and you've got your 2 fuel lines on the back, and it's all one sealed unit, so it looks pretty straightforward. So the first thing I'm going to do is remove the cover for the air filter right here. That way I can access the primer bulb, and then I'm going to pull the 2 fuel lines off the back, maybe. Or maybe what the best thing to do would be to use some of the star nuts, or Torx drivers they call them, to remove this here. That way I can access the back side of that. I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. It looks easier. So once you've got your Torx screwdriver ready, I've got a T25 right here. Go ahead and remove these 2 screws that hold this little housing to the carburetor. By the way, the symptoms of what was going on with this is I was obviously leaking gasoline all over my shed, which is not cool, as this gas has oil in it, so the gas and oil mixture is getting all up in the floor of my shed, which is made out of wood, which I don't want that deteriorating that over time. So, actually, that's not the only issue I had. This little grommet here is all messed up. I've got one of those on the way. I found it on Amazon for like $5. Including shipping, maybe $6, I don't know, it's pretty cheap. So I've got that on the way, should be coming in today. I'll change that later, I'll make a video on that as well. But for now I'm just going to change this primer bulb, show you guys how to do that. Assuming I can get everything taken apart here. It's being difficult naturally that I'm trying to record it. Okay, it looks like the whole carb has actually come off. I don't want to really deal with the whole carb, so I'm just going to pull the screws out. Maybe. Actually, it looks like more of a pain in the butt to try to get the screw completely out. I just want to access the backside of this primer bulb, which does actually have clips on it, holding the fuel lines in place. So, those 2 tabs I was referring to earlier, stick your screwdriver down in there, kind of pop those out, one on each side. You want to push inward and push down kind of simultaneously. And it looks like, well, it was coming out. I just popped it back in accidentally. That was that little grommet popping out. That actually made things easier. Yeah, you can see how bad that is right there. Obviously, that's why one of the reasons why I'm leaking fluid here. Okay, here we go. Starting to come out. And actually, this fuel line is too short for me to be able to pull that out, so I'm going to push in these 2 little tabs here and slide that off, so I can slide that fuel line out. I'm going to go ahead and pull this fuel line out of that little grommet. That way I can just kind of slide it through. And there we go, we have it out. So the next thing you want to do is pay attention as you're removing the fuel lines as to which one is the long one and which one is the short one. I can already tell by looking at it this is the long one right here. So what I'm going to do is remove this fuel line, put it there, remove this fuel line, put it there, and then put everything back where I got it. I'm not actually going to go ahead and do that right now because I have purchased this here that I'm going to be using, and I'm actually going to replace all my fuel lines while I have everything out. That way everything is good to go. I don't have anything leaking. I've got my new grommet in there. I've got all new fuel lines. We'll be ready to roll. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching.